I think if you're going to trade silver, trade it with reasonable expectations today. Of course, anything can and will change. We do have some data coming out later in the week, so I think with all the markets, we may see a consolidated day. But that 200 moving average on the 30 gives us some opportunity here.
Oh, Jay,
trading there last night.
You're singing to me. You're singing to me right now. Okay, that 200 session simple moving average.
Yeah.
It was a double distribution trend day to the upside yesterday. And I'm just going to really quickly kind of show what that means. Volume, low volume, volume. So now look where we're opening this market. We're opening between those two areas of volume. And the 200 session simple moving average is right inside the lower distribution of volume. You know, there is the possibility of repair. Repair takes place to the upper distribution of volume and the lower distribution of volume. We get a look down to that 200 session moving average. At the very least, it offers, like Jay said, an opportunity to limit risk. You know, it's a high probability that that price is going to reach that level or an assumed point of control in the upper distribution at some point today. And that offers that the opportunity to limit risk at those levels. Love what you were just saying there, Jay. All right, that's what we've got for our medals this morning. Back to JD in that beautiful hat.
It is a beautiful hat, isn't it? New swag, love it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's take a look at what happened overnight. Stocks in Asia closed mostly higher. The Hang Seng Index closed up 0.58%. The Nikkei closed up 2.28%, and the Shanghai Composite closed up 0.13%. Stocks in Europe currently trading a little bit mixed. We have the DAX down 0.16%, FTSE down 0.46%, Stock 600 just about unchanged, and the CAC is up. The French CAC is up about 0.03%. The U.S. dollar index up marginally, 96.822 last on the dollar. The VIX currently up 1%, 17.53, just a couple ticks below 18. We did move down a little bit from yesterday, but up 1% overnight. And the yield on the 10-year Treasury note resting comfortably at 4.16% this morning. Just a little bit lower, marginally lower, 0.038% to start the day. All right, guys, let's get into those equities. We're going to take a look at that crude oil opening breakout trade at the top of the hour. Until then, though, what's happening in the S&P? Tell us everything.
All right. Yesterday's rally, more about short covering due to the loss of open interest, but it was only 2,900 loss in open interest. Okay. Negative delta on the push to the upside indicates that that was short covering, meaning more sellers. I don't think we really lost too much as far as new shorts in this market. These were responsive sellers. Okay, price was above previous price, and those sellers, I view those as shorter time frame. We're in range, we're in value, we're respecting short time frame levels. You'll see more of that in the 30-minute chart. So the short covering was absorbed, I believe, by more short sellers, more new short sellers. Just the way it looks to me on this daily chart, as well as some information on the profile that we'll see shortly. Jay, what do you think of the daily here in the S&Ps?
On the daily, we are still very much in this range. We've seen the S&P make new all-time highs this year, much different from the NASDAQ, but we're kind of near the upper extreme of this range, right? That 7,000 level is going to be a difficult level to get through. It was near the high of the day yesterday. 7,050 was the high of the day yesterday. So the S&P has a decision to make here. I think we've been looking for where are these new buyers, where are they going to step in, and it's up here where they have some issues, right? I don't know if the market's waiting for news or a headline or whatever it takes to kind of get out of here. Maybe Nvidia earnings, which is like a month from now. But this has been the upper extreme of the range, and I think balanced breakout rules, right, Hope? You trade the range until it doesn't work, and it's been an area to look for opportunities to sell up here. On the daily, so far, high to low range, we have a 27-point range. Daily ATR in the S&P is 92 points, so there is a ton of room still available for the New York session if we are going to see an at range day. But again, we have NFP tomorrow. We have some jobs data, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a consolidated range day today with the data coming out later in the week. For right now, I think you kind of have to be patient. Look maybe for some opportunities for fading the range up at 7,000s. But yeah, still a very higher time frame range bound market. Hope.
You bring out a good point. With the unemployment and NFP coming out tomorrow, you think maybe some of the low volume yesterday has something to do with anticipatory markets that are anticipating new news coming into the markets. It's definitely a very valid hypothesis. Now, 30-minute overnight inventory. Do we have any? Have any overnight inventory? Here's where we opened last night. Here's where we are now. No, no overnight inventory to really speak of. We are inside range and inside value and relatively centrally located and right at settlement. So as it sits right now, there's very little change in the perception of value. That, of course, is likely to change potentially drastically once the regular trading hours open and the longer time frame comes in to adjust inventory, which they do pretty much on a daily basis. Just some days not so much. Okay, short time frame control, short time frame levels, targeted and respected. We did all of that yesterday. We had the afternoon pullback low here from February 2nd. That was targeted as the high. We have a afternoon pullback high that was supportive as the low. We pretty much ignored the late spike from the previous day. However, there was some kerfuffleation there, and the second 30-minute bar based right off of it before continuing back to the upside. So if we're looking for evidence that this market is in short time frame control, well, there it is. All right. The profiles are E-shaped profiles mean short covering, very low volume until we get to up here, and then we get a nice big volume node up here at the highs. Where are we? We're still hanging around inside of that volume node. Afternoon pullback low, didn't even put it on here. Don't know if it's going to be that impactful. However, the initial balance high from yesterday put in the overnight low. Watch the overnight high, watch the overnight low. Overnight high is still up against this afternoon pullback low from the second. In the middle of range, in the middle of value, you know what? This market could very well be just kind of sitting in anticipation for non-farm payrolls and unemployment tomorrow. That is an entirely valid hypothesis, Jay. Thank you very much for that. What else you got for us, Jay? What are you looking at here on the third?
So, to be honest, Hope, these are my favorite conditions to kind of trade the equities coming into the open. We saw it all last week, right? We had very small overnight ranges, which gave us some opportunity in the New York session. I just think we need to wait for the market to kind of determine what that's going to be. If I had to, I may be looking to the short side just because of what we talked about on the higher time frame, right? We're up near the upper extreme of that balance. But I'll be patient, right? The market can go wherever it wants to go. And it's not my job to try to guess it. My job is to try to figure out where it's going to go and then catch a piece of the move. So this small overnight range tells me that there's a higher potential for opportunity. But I agree with you, Hope. We don't have to rush here. We could just wait and let the market determine that. Flat VWAP 69.82. If it's going to stay this way, range traders, it's your time to eat. Shout out to Dolby Time in the chat. These are his favorite market conditions, right? You identify the high below and rinse and repeat until it breaks.
Yes.
I will be looking. I personally, I'm looking for a break, likely to the downside. It looks like there's some room here down to this 200 moving average, but we'll see what the market wants to cook up today. right now, Hogue, the S&P is at 0.0%, 0.0%.
Huh.
So trading right at
Sitting at
settlement.
settlement.
Sitting at settlement. Be patient here.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Double distribution trend day to the upside, sort of. Just a big P-shaped profile, short covering meets new shorts. That's the way it looks to me. So if those new shorts are still here and we start pushing higher, those new shorts that came in yesterday would be the first ones to turn into initiative buyers to push price higher, if that is indeed the case. All right. That's what we got for the ESJD. We got crude oil opening up here in just a minute, or if it's not already open, what are we looking at here?
30 seconds. 30 seconds till the opening bell in crude oil. Ding, ding, ding. 30 seconds, and we'll take a look at that 1 minute opening range breakout, see if we can't get into the market on this. And then we'll share a piece of news also. We got some important dates on our taxes for this year. We'll run over that in just a couple minutes.
Crude oil is in a
Crude oil.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Sure is.
You like an opening range right here?
Yeah, high level.
We're at
Do we like this trade?
we're at an important level. This could be a powerful trade, even though we're coming into rollover, just where it is. You know, this is balance to breakout rules here. If we can't break out to the upside, we want to be short. If we break out to the upside with any volume and participation, then we're going to want to be long. So it's very, very kind of a key level here, and we'll see this more on the charts when we get into them. But I like the trade here because I think that there's sizable opportunity, but in either direction.
Gotcha. So it doesn't matter what side we get on. We're liking this trade. I get it. I get it. All right. I'm prepped and ready to get into this trade.
Crude is
15 more
open
seconds.
business. High. I got a high of the range 64.51. Low so far 64.36.
15 ticks.
64.50. Yeah, we got a 13 tick wide opening range on the micro contract. All right, we are opening our confirmation candle smack dab in the middle of the range. It's a highly sophisticated, exact, precise location, smack dab in the middle.
It is an industry term.
It is an industry term.
Smack dab.
Well, we're 20 seconds into this confirmation candle, and we've only moved 2 ticks.
We're looking for candle confirmation. A close outside of the range, either to the upside or the downside, would trigger a trade. Hoga, while this one works out, let's take a look at the crude oil charts. You said we were in an interesting spot. What are you seeing here?
All right. Well, let's start with the daily in that case. Let's take a look-see. So, you know, we've got our triangle formation here, right? And the closer we get to the apex, the less likely the power will come from a move outside of it. We could, especially being rollover, just kind of break out through this range, through this pattern, through attrition. But we do have the opportunity today to change the current market state from balance to maybe continuation, or just a kind of a return to the lower end of the narrowing balance. So what I'm looking at is, did we add open interest yesterday? Yes, we did. We added 5,600 in open interest yesterday. So we if these are short time frame buyers, if we can't get the breakout to the upside, these are going to be the stuck longs that could bring price back to the downside. Now, if something changes and we do get a breakout that we want to go with, I think it would probably be more something news related. This is a highly sensitive market when it comes to news about Iran. Anything else that has anything to do with crude oil, of course, is going to be impactful on it. Just, you know, got to keep in the back of your mind, it is rollover. This is our fourth contact. 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact with this upper trend line of our Dorito formation, our pennant formation, triangle formation, whatever word you want to use for it, they're all the same. But again, you know, we're in balance. Balance to breakout guidelines apply. Jay, what do you think?
I'm with you there, Hogue. Crude it tried to be different, right? It had a decent start to the year. It's actually been a really nice trade. But we also have to remember that this is crude oil, and like you just said, it's a headline-driven market. And if there are no headlines, then it's pretty range bound. And if we're range bound, we're at the upper extreme of that range. We can see a lot of overlap in these daily candles. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us fall back into this range. And if that's the case, there's potentially a $2 move to the downside here. We've seen the daily ATR increase. It's back above $2, which is great to see in crude oil, right? We were at like $1.40 for a while. So the ranges are expanding, giving us opportunity. But if we are not going to see anything that gets us out of this and, like you said, break us up to the upside, I'm looking for potential shorts, maybe back down to $63, if not 62.22, which is the 20-day moving average.
Awesome.
Remedy the artist says Jay doesn't like talking about crude oil. I when it moves like this, I love talking about crude. I I think what was it, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, crude was a pretty nice trade. I kind of miss that crude oil. Uh, Maybe we're getting back there, but I'm not convinced
Well,
yet.
I mean, there's
Not convinced yet.
there's a lot of portents, if that's the right word. If it is, it's $100 word. There's a lot of potential change and opportunity in this market. We've been talking about it since we broke out of that kind of medium time frame range, and it's created a lot of opportunities. Those opportunities have been shrinking as the balance continues to narrow. Yesterday, if you remember, we pointed out this weak high, no excess high, indicating that the upside auction had not fully completed itself. Well, by the end of the day yesterday, we had taken out that weak high and we put in another weak high right up against this trend line. Where have we been trying to test above since the London Open? We keep bouncing off this trend line. If there are offers there, the more often we get there, the more we trade into those offers, the weaker those offers are going to become. What we're looking for, Jay, are new buyers here. New buyers. We found new buyers yesterday. We're going to need new buyers for any continuation to the upside here yesterday. We have a weekend gap that we traded into yesterday. If we break out and we accept above this trend line and back in that weekend gap, this market could take us all the way back up to, well, let's just say 65.70. I'm going to go 65.80 because crude oil likes to trade to the 80s, the 50s, the 20s, and the evens. So the question is, do we break out? Do we not break out? As far as what we're looking at in the overnight inventory, we don't have any gaps. We don't have any overnight inventory. Here's our overnight inventory. We started here. We're trading there. Value high, value low, coming in at 64.10, value high 64.90, and we're in the middle of it. So try and stay patient. Better trade locations may come as the day goes on. I'll be hawking this trend line for potential acceptance above because again, we're in balance to breakout rules. Which state, if we fail at a balance extreme, we fade it. If we break out and find meaningful buying above this level, we go with the breakout from that level. We also have an afternoon pullback low in crude oil. It's been tested through many times. It's currently holding above. I'm going to leave this on here, but I firmly believe that the value area low from yesterday is the more important level. So again, that's 49. Let's just call it 49 even. 40, I'm sorry, 64 even. 64, what am I, 49? 64 even. That's it. That's it for me. Jay, what are you thinking about here on the 30-minute chart?
I'm looking at the 30-minute Hogue, and it looks like the S&P chart that we just took a look at. It looks like the gold chart we just took a look at. Everything is pretty much hanging out right at settlement. Overnight inventory not really giving us a whole lot to work with here in crude oil either. So just gonna remain patient. A lot of these charts look very similar. I doubt that we stay in this tight of a range for the entire day, so there'll be opportunity here as well. So far, 84-cent range, high to low. Again, that daily ATR is at $2 now, so there is some room if crude wants to have an at range day. 63.78 is the 200 moving average on the 30-minute, And I'm looking at this highest volume 30-minute candle from yesterday, Hogue. 64.32 is that high. So watching how the market responds here. Volume is trading above it, but I'm not too convinced unless, again, we get a headline or something to move these markets. This is crude oil, and it
Yes.
moves. It doesn't move until it has to move. And with
Yeah.
that being said, I'm kind of hoping we get into a short here in this opening range trade.
And becoming, and coming into rollover, the tendency is more to maintain range bound. That's why we're really going to need some energy to break out of this. And if that energy comes in, that energy could be substantial. But right now, balanced breakout rules say you're short.
Yep, 100%. That is what we got in crude. JD, we're going to throw it back over to you for some news, and then we're going to give the people what they want. Take a look at those NASDAQ
Not
charts.
financial advice, folks. Not financial
Not
advice.
financial advice. No. Quick update on this crude oil opening range breakout trade. We did test both sides of the opening range. We took out the high by a tick. We actually triggered along, but I did not take it. It was a good no trade, and then we came back and tested the lower, and we took out the lower end of the opening range. That's in the
Wow.
micros at least. I didn't check the minis. I didn't check to see if the minis triggered a long.
No long in the minis. It did not trigger.
No long in the mini. Okay. No trade. No trade so far in crude. I'll keep an eye on it. All right, guys. Consumer Watch. We've got a public service announcement for you and what to expect on your taxes this year. You've likely received your tax documents by now. It means the clock is ticking to file your taxes. The Trump administration made a lot of changes under the big beautiful bill that could mean a lower tax bill and a higher refund for filers. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains the biggest changes you will see on your taxes this year. Let's run.
The deadline to file your 2025 taxes is quickly approaching.
I would just get it done as soon as possible.
Lisa Green Lewis is a CPA and tax expert with TurboTax. Here's what she says you need to know. First, a higher standard deduction. That means more of your money is shielded from federal taxes. For single filers, it increases to $15,750, up from $15,000. For married couples filing jointly, it increases to $31,500, up from $30,000. Second, a higher state and local tax deduction, commonly known as SALT. It allows you to deduct your state and local income taxes or your state and local general sales taxes. That cap jumps to $40,000 from $10,000 for married couples filing together. You may also be able to deduct your property taxes as long as your income or sales taxes doesn't put you over that $40,000 cap.
Those high property tax states and state tax states, they'll be able to claim some more of those deductions.
Third, a larger tax credit for children. Parents can receive $2,200 per child. They must be under 17 at the end of the tax year, among other requirements. If you work in an industry where you get tips or overtime, there are some changes you need to know about. Eligible workers can deduct up to $25,000 in tipped income.
If you're a service worker, like a firefighter, police officer, you can deduct up to $12,500 in overtime.
Last year, the average refund was around $3,100, according to the IRS. With these new changes, some can expect an even higher refund.
We are expecting filers to see up to $1,000 increase in their refund or lower balance due.
Deadline to file your taxes is April 15th. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Get back all the money you possibly can from the federal government, folks. It's tax season. Here we go.
No trade on this crude oil trade.
Comment. No trigger yet. No trigger. We did take out. Is it a voided trade now? Have we invalidated this trade?
Traded both sides, right?
Traded both sides now.
Did trigger along
Me.
on that last candle. We like this trade.
Did it trigger a short at all?
Did not trigger a short, but we just closed above the opening range. Technically, triggered along. I guess not technically. We already took out the high of the opening range and then reversed to take out the low.
We're up against resistance, but we do have that failed upside auction yesterday. It's cheap.
Say take
Got
it.
a 2-lot loaded. I'm working a bid. Not chasing it again. Working a 54 bid. 64.54 bid for 2.
We're starting to pop a little bit here. 64, 61. I don't know if it's because I'm on a 1 minute chart, but that look like some volume coming in here.
Probably looks huge.
Yeah.
I'm
Zoom out, Jay.
looking
Zoom
at
out.
them. It's only 6 ticks, but it
Oh,
looks
right
like
up
a
against
very,
the resistance.
looks like a strong candle, but it's only 6 ticks, right? We're working a bid. We're just underneath high of the day, 64.71 overnight high. Again, not going to chase this.
And some of the best trades I've ever taken were, well, it's cheap. You get great trade
Oh boy, look at
location
the
in that regard.
look at the time, guys. Let's get into that Nasdaq, and then
Oh,
we
jeez.
gotta go to the
Be
schedule
quick.
for tomorrow. Let's do it, guys.
Yeah, okay. So on the daily, NASDAQ, it's NASDAQ is a little bit of a different story, but it's a lot the same story as we just went through with the S&Ps. Yesterday's rally was more about short covering. Uh, we lost open interest 4,400, but in the profile you'll see that yeah, it was short covering, but we probably added some new shorts while some of those shorts were covering. Smaller range, low delta, just like 900 positive delta. That's not a lot for a move, especially a short covering move in that regard, which is another reason what tells me that we probably had some new shorts coming in. Those are responsive sellers. Those responsive sellers yesterday, if we start to see the market rally, will be the first initiative buyers back into this market. So, Jay, what are you seeing here on the daily?
So on the daily, we got that healthy pullback that we were talking about, Hogue. We're still inside that October 10th candle. But we got the pullback to the low of that October 10th candle. We had a nice test of the 200 moving average, which we hadn't done for about 6 months. So right back up to the middle of the range. 25,635 is the high of the October 10th candle. It's within the daily ATR range. Daily ATR on the Nasdaq 497 points right now. So far, high to low range. We have a 135-point range. So there is a ton of opportunity still in this market again if we are going to see an at range day. This to me looks like it has a little bit more upside than the S&P does, just because the S&P is kind of sitting right below that major 7,000 level. So we'll see what happens here. This is maybe a healthy pullback. I do like that test of an uptrending 200 moving average, and we found buyers almost immediately on that test. We're up 5% from that area. But on a higher time frame, and this is a market we have not made an all-time high since October 30th. So like Dolby says, the chip is back in the bag. We're right back in the middle of the range. Uh, Decent enough opportunity to trade. We saw, this is a range bound market, Hogue. We saw what was, 2 years ago, the move we saw in the Nasdaq yesterday. We'd be talking about, whoa, this is a huge trend day, right? High to low range
Yeah.
yesterday, I think was about 500 points. So there's opportunity in this market for sure.
Right. Taking a look now at the 30-minute chart, overnight inventory, no, not much here at all. I mean, nothing to even think about. Inside range, inside value, yes. Value low on this platform, 25,197. Value high right up against yesterday's high, right around 25,430 or 29 area. So we're inside of that, not too far from settlement. So there hasn't been a whole bunch of change in the perception of value. And again, these markets may be kind of falling into anticipation for the NFP and the unemployment numbers tomorrow. However, again, proof that we're kind of falling into short time frame control. The market tried to reach the afternoon pullback high that comes in here off of the 3rd of February, similar to where the market traded into the S&Ps, just didn't quite get there. And again, yesterday with the P-shaped profile, high volume at the top, low volume all the way to the bottom. That P shape indicates that short covering, and I believe that short covering ran into new shorts on the way up, and that's where this whole kind of small consolidation occurred for the rest of the day. And again, if those shorts are They were responsive shorts yesterday. They were above range and value from the previous day. The reason they were getting short is because, hey, this is a little high here. Let's just see if we can't get this market to turn around. If it doesn't, those kind of responsive sellers will turn into initiative buyers if we start pushing higher. There's lots of visual targets above if they do start to cover these shorts. Afternoon pullback low here from the second, which is the same level that the S&Ps reached yesterday, 25,821.75. Looking to the downside, we'll look value low 25,140, 194, and then possibly the 200 session simple moving average below that for a potential opportunity. 25,060. Jay, what are you seeing on the 30?
On the 30, another one where the overnight inventory not giving us a whole lot to work with. Flat VWAP 25,344 is that VWAP price. We're trading about 60 points above that right now, 50 points above that right now, which is telling me, Hogue, there's opportunity for, you know, this New York session to do something pretty interesting here. I'm looking at this candle from February 3rd, which is, what was this, last Monday, I believe, last Tuesday maybe. We haven't really traded in this range since and that kind of led us, that sell-off that we saw all last week. This is kind of where it started. The low of that candle, 25,623, is right up near that the high of that October 10th candle. So this is a very interesting spot here. Again, this started the sell-off. We're more than 50% recovered from that.
Order filled. 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 Order filled.
I'm done, bro. I'm not even gonna trade the other account. I'm done for today. So let me go over the things that I was going through my head here. You know, this price could have went and taken this one out, but since I'm bullish on the higher time frame, I see this price going here today. I see it coming on this area. This is why I took the short from here, but I got a little nervous and closed my trade, and then something told me buy, and then I'm like, why the fuck am I going to buy if I am bullish? Because that's one of the reasons. But first, before I see price going up, I wanted to see to break this range to the downside first. Because if it would have broke the range to the upside first, then that means we're not we're not as bullish. At least this is how I look at the market. The way I look at the market, be like when we're in a range like this, and I want price to come up, I don't want price to come and take this high first, and then come and take this low. That's not what I want to see. If I'm bullish, I want to see price drop a little and then move up, so that I can have liquidity here to grab and keep going up. It's the way I see the market. But I did let my emotions get to me here because I didn't want to miss the move to the downside. You know, even though I'm bullish, I want to buy, but I don't want to buy here. You know what I'm saying? And then I got confused. I mean, I got emotional. It's not even confused. I let my emotions get to me, fear of missing out. And then here was fear of losing. And then I closed the trade. Like, I need to understand that once I get in a trade, accept the risk. And I haven't been accepting the risk. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still struggling, even though I am improving, but that's one of the things that I struggle the most. And days like this is for me to see and learn, you know. I gotta find another way. I mean, I feel like I'm doing it okay for now, but I do want to find a better way to kind of like just work these accounts maybe together, but I don't want to work them together because if I have a bad day in one of these accounts, then I blow all my accounts. You know, that's not what I want. I want to work them like how I'm doing it little by little. But my entry, I missed it here because this was my entry for my other account to get in here and keep shorting because there's the objective. Once the price reverse here, that was for me to get in another trade. I need to hold my runners a little more, but like I said before, it's like it's only gonna come with time, and I'm not trying to rush anything, you know. And what I could see from here, price could drop a little bit, but it could that's it. It could go up from here. It already took the liquidity I was looking for, and from here it could go up. And I'll do it on this account. That is a paper account,
Order filled.
but this will be like the entry, and this is like going early on a trade, and this will be like my target for the session. Like if I wouldn't have took this short and I waited for the longs, this will be like the trade I'll be looking for to enter on. Even though it's early because it could still come manipulate and go higher, but it could go from here because I have no structure here yet. That's what I'm saying. Like it could come manipulate and then create a structure with this one. But I want to see it could create the structure now and go from here. Like if it goes beyond this level, we're going up. And the reason why I enter is because we have a gap here, and we have an inversion fair value gap too, so it could work, but we'll see. Yeah, it's gonna fail. This is the other liquidity that I see price coming, like right here. It rejected from this gap. Now this is the next one. So if it comes here, it will keep pushing up. But you just gotta watch price. I mean, just follow price because it could just keep dropping too. But this is where
Order filled.
today. I'm not even gonna trade this account today. Not even. I have two. I have this one. Only $200 I need to pass. You know, if I would have held both my contract up to this low, I would have been maybe $100. But it is what it is. I'm gonna do this like very slow and steady. Like this, I'm gonna trade it with patience. Cause I've been here before and I have blown accounts a few $100 away from passing because I started rushing the process, you know. I have this account for 3 months. Let's see, one since December. I crash out this day. I almost lost this account. And the rest been just one or two trades. You see? Like I've been working on myself and I have been improving. I just need to keep improving on just walking away when the trade doesn't go on my favor. You know, that's something that I want to improve. Oh, look, this day I walked away. I took a couple of trades. I think I took one trade and I lost, and I took, let me see. Yeah, I took one trade and I lost. Took another one. I made some back. Then I took another one and lost. And then I guess I took another one and recovered some of the losses. And then I just moved on. You see, stuff like that, I gotta see and learn from. And these days, that was today, you know, I just place. Sometimes it says 7 trades, but it's not 7 trades. It's that I be scamming now from my contracts. So it counts as a trade too. So far, we're getting there, you know? We're getting there. And I know, you know, just gotta stay patient. Work my way up. Like this could be the trade now to go up. Let's try it again.
Order filled.
It already took the liquidity out. And this could be the trade to push this price up. Let me take it here on this one. I'm only gonna put 2 contracts though.
Order filled.
This is the see how this plays out. I really like this trade. It's a really good trade.
Order filled.
I'm out. That's it. I'll leave this one. To see. You see, with this one, I practice a lot. I need to practice. There's no emotions here involved. No more. There's nothing to lose. If you lose, you lose. You know, but this one, like, you could take some here, let's say, 1-1, because there's a gap here, and then just let the rest run. You can either go break even there or let it run. But that's like the objective here. And I'm gonna keep paper trading this account just to demonstrate myself and like be confident that what I know about the market works, and I just gotta trust my process. I mean, this trade looks beautiful. It plays everything that I look for in a trade. You know, it has everything. You know, here I knew I was getting in early. I said it. You know, this is getting early. You could come manipulate me and then push up. But time is gonna help me understand myself, my trading, and improve. Only like time in these markets and experiencing. But I'm fine. I'm fine making. I could have made more. Look right now, like I had the confidence, but it's okay. Like I need to chip away and now watch the market go to the target I had. You know, like it could also come back over here. I don't want to come back on drawdown. You know, as right now I'm still growing on that, and I've been on this shit for 4 years. I'm going on my 5th years next year, the middle of this year. So it takes it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time, and I'm still not even halfway where I want to be, you know, and but I know I will be sooner or later. This would have been amazing trade. It just we went on drawdown a little bit, and then that's it. Trade is money, but I'm more over scalper. I know myself. Like I know myself. With time, I will have runners and go to my target. How long it took? It's a couple minutes, you know. Like here, I'll be taking some off, you know. Let's say I'll take 5 off. So
Order filled.
maybe let's let some 5 runners to these targets. This is like the next target. Take another 5 there and go break even already, you know. But this is like the trade.
Order filled.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna walk away from the computer. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I see it going there. So peace out, guys. See ya tomorrow. I'll go and trade tomorrow. So see you when I see you.